What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Jenks Ever podcast. It is April 2nd. It's officially draft month. We're sitting, 4 weeks out. We're excited, jacked up. Today we got scouting report, cornerbacks. This is one of the strengths of this draft class, so we're excited to get into it. We're going to give you guys our top 10, 2 honorable mentions. Let's get right into it.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
And here we go! All right, let's get right into it with the honorable mentions. This is a tough list to make. A lot of good corners, a lot of fun tape to watch. But 2 honorable mentions. First one, Max Melton, brother of receiver Bo Melton on the Packers, Rutgers guy, Jersey. 3 things I like about him: good tackler, hits hard. He's very instinctive, and he's got great ball skills, just like his brother.
Hammer, would you like that little duo? Imagine 3rd round pick.
I would love that. That would be a really fun training camp.
Yeah, it would be a fun
that.
camp. Next, the honorable mention is Kyrie Jackson, a 6'4" corner out of Oregon, who, his great size and length is kind of what he's known for. Helps him playing the ball, things like that. But my comparison for him is going to be Kevin King, Hammer's favorite cornerback in the league. Knows him all too well, but
he hasn't been in the league in a while. But yeah, that's a crazy comp.
2018. Dude, we are in 2014, Hammer. He started in 2016 or 2018.
Yeah, he hasn't been in the league in a while. He hasn't been in the league past 2 years.
Oh, he's a free agent. I thought he was still playing on. I thought he was like a depth guy.
No, like completely out of the league. Yeah.
I thought he was a depth guy. Oh my god.
No.
Anyways,
that's a crazy comp for. I mean, if you're a real NFL fan, you know Kevin King. He's just compared with the size. Kevin King was.
Yeah. I just wanted to hear Hammer squirm a little bit. That's all.
Yeah. I've never thought I would hear Kevin King's name mentioned on this podcast, but yeah, here we are.
Hammer to squirm a little bit. All right, number 10. You got DJ James out of Auburn. He's 6 foot 175, a little bit smaller scale guy. He has good fundamentals, solid athleticism, and for him, he's a lot better in coverage than he is in the run game. That's his big knock. That kind of happens with size as well. I would say he's more comfortable in man than he is in zone. I like his leverage in man. If he's off, he's able to maintain leverage as well as like a cushion. He doesn't let his cushion get too far out. And he also stays close to the guy at the same time. But yeah, really the big knock on him is he's just not a physical guy. Against physical receivers, he kind of struggles. And when he's going to tackle people, he also struggles as well. So that 175 could hinder him a little bit. Hopefully he's able to gain some weight in the NFL. Then at number 9, we got Kamari Lassiter. And this is a guy that a lot of people are going to have higher up on their draft boards, I feel like. But when I'm watching his film, nothing stands out to me. He's solid all around, but nothing is great. And that's what I kind of look for if I want one of these guys to be higher than number 9. He does a pretty good job of mirroring guys in coverage, like off the line. He's a good mirror, but his hands aren't the best when he's going to get in contact with the guy. So he either whiffs or he gets in a little bit late. And so the guy's able to kind of get leverage on him early in the route. He does a good job of tackling. He likes being physical in the run game, and that's something you also like to see in screen games as well. He's always looking to put his nose into the guy, and he has good hips. That's something I'll highlight from his good hips. That's what you want as a corner. Hammer and I were DBs, so we're always working on hips, so we know how hard it is. The bad, sorry, whatever.
No, but I'm gonna put 2. Like, watch this film. Dude's physical, blows up a lot of screens. And you know what, though? If you got good hips, NFL coaches, that's kind of all they need with the tool set. So never know.
Yeah, and he's also a little bit over aggressive, which is also something you can fine tune. And here's the big knock, though: his RAS score is 6.2. His 40 time was 4.62. A lot slower than a lot of these guys on this list, and I think that's going to knock him down some of these draft boards a lot. So I have him going as a day 2 pick, probably 3rd round.
Next up, number 8, Ennis Rakestraw Jr. from Missouri, staying at 5'11", 183 pounds, a little bit of a tinier guy. He's your nickel. Yes, he could play outside, but he played a lot in college at Missouri as a nickel, and that's where I think he's going to be best in the league. He's got a really good trail technique. plays on that back hip, and then he can really, drives hard to the ball when it's thrown. He's got good body control. Um, Plays bigger than his size. He's very aggressive, very physical for someone who's 5'11", 183 pounds. He challenges receivers. He's tough player, and he's also really tough to block. Um, and he's solid in run support, which is why I think he would be a great nickel paired with that size. And he reads the quarterback really well in zone. The bad, he might be too physical for the NFL, meaning he's going to draw flags, gets a little
Grabby.
grabby. He could struggle in zone at times, get caught on the quarterback's eyes a little too long. Locating the deep ball, he's got to, you know, fix that. But, that comes with just experience, reps. That's coachable. Recovery speed, which I'm going to get into, is 40 in a little bit. That's not there. And then past injuries. He tore his ACL in 2021, and he missed a lot of games this past season due to a groin injury. So he's got that injury history. At the combine, he ran a 4.53, which is not pretty when you're 5'11", 183 pounds. You're expected
Got to be
to
faster.
run
yeah.
a pretty good time when you're that little. I mean, you got bigger guys running 4.3s. So, that's not the best, but I think he definitely plays faster than that if you watch the film, which is what really matters. But that is going to drop him on draft boards for some teams. His RAS score was 4.79.
Ooh,
So
4.
yeah,
Jeez.
low. So this was a guy, Green Bay needs kind of cornerback depth, maybe a nickel. A lot of Packer fans were looking at this guy, but with that build, 183 pounds and that RES score and that 40, it's just not going to happen. But with that being said, this corner class is really strong. I think me and Jenks kind of got into this, but I think these 10 guys are going to be taken like round 1, round 2, round 3. Like I think these 10 corners go in the first 3 rounds. I could see all these guys going. So I got them going, second or third round.
I could see it. And yeah, like you said, it's going to be dependent upon like if there's a run, like you could see even more than that coming off the board before the end of the second round. So it's going to be a crazy draft for sure for this draft class. At number 7, we got Mike Sainristil out of Michigan, a guy that I love in this draft class that I think is going to be drafted a little bit lower than he should be because of his
Size.
inexperience and size as well. So he's 5'9", 182. My height, a little bit like 7 pounds heavier than me, which is crazy to say. And he's out of Michigan. The good about him, he's a former receiver, so he kind of understands what receivers are trying to do against corners. He's only has 2 years of DB work at Michigan, though, so that's kind of, like I said, that's going to be his knock going into the NFL. But he already has a lot of production and a lot of potential. You see it. He's a great motor and aggressiveness. Anytime he's in coverage, he's always looking to go see the ball, be the ball, and he's also always looking to just go make a play in the run game in a short pass. If he's sitting there in the zone and he sees a guy going up to catch it, he's going to go clock him. Like I'm watching this film and that is something that I just love watching. Always looking, I think also as well, his great explosiveness and quick feet. And coming from a receiver side, when you're doing footwork drills every single day to kind of do routes, things like that, it transfers pretty quick to DB work. So it definitely did for him. The bad, like Hammer said, size. Like if he can improve on his weight a little bit, I could definitely see him going inside as well to nickel. He's already played a little bit of both in college, but if he's able to hone in his technique a little bit, he could definitely be either play both ways or just nickel in the NFL. The combine, he did pretty well. He ran a 4.47 40, which isn't terrible, but for his height, it's not great. But he did have an 8.4 RES score. My comparison for him is going to be Mike Hilton, a good solid nickel in the league already. And my projection for him is a late round 2 pick. I see him kind of going before the 3rd round just because I think he does have a lot of potential. But I don't think he's going anywhere in the early 2nd round.
Yeah, on top of that too, you said he used to, be a receiver before playing DB, and that you definitely see that when he gets his hands on the football, because when he gets to the hands of this football, he's looking to score, and he's got good return ability. He's returned a couple picks and fumbles to the house. Watching him on tape, like he has that ability that not every DB has. Like you get that pick, whoa, I got a pick, and make a guy miss and run out of bounds, and oh, there's a big
It's
lineman
Hammer.
there. You know what
That's
I mean?
Hammer right
That's
there.
not me.
Hammer
I
Hammer's
just
not a
I
returner.
just never
He
had
can't
the
return.
wheels to take it, you know, back back to, back to the crib. But no, he's got that like return ability too when he gets the ball in his hand. So it's exciting to watch. All right, but number 6. Now we'll kind of get into like our first round guys. Like these guys could go in the first round.
Possible, yeah.
At number 6, TJ Tampa from Iowa State, 6'1", 189 pounds. He's a sneaky one. All right, he didn't test at the combine. I'm waiting to see if he tests at the pro day. Maybe Iowa State already had a pro day and he just did not test. I don't know. I didn't look at that. If he does test good, I think he could make a case for, becoming a late round, first round pick. But I am going early in the second. I love TJ Tampa. Big fan. Number 1, physical as a tackler and in coverage. He is physical. He brings the boom. Um, route, like I said, he's physical. So on press, he's going to redirect routes. Good trail technique. Like I said, I forget who I mentioned it uh, before, but good trail technique, like Ennis Rakestraw Jr. Plays that back hip, and then when the ball is thrown, man, he drives through and punches that ball out. He doesn't hesitate. Sniffs out trick plays. He's very smart, like good IQ like that. He doesn't get bored. Like he knows, he sees a double reverse and he still kind of stays in his zone and sniffs it out and makes a good play on the ball. He's a little thicker than you would think. Um, the picture, but like if you see him, like 6'1", 189 pounds, but he is pretty thick. He's got some good muscle on him, which explains the physicality. You could see that he's passionate in the run game, like being a run defender. Like he's into it. Some corners they check out, right? I don't want to get hit. I'm little, this
Yeah,
and that.
Jair, yeah. Yeah.
No, but TJ Tampa, he loves it. And I think because of this, because of the way he could play in the run, I think he could be a nickel, in the league. The bad, he's just raw. He is. The speed is not the best on tape. And then, his back pedal kind of stands up high a little bit. Balance can be an issue because of that. And, he's just not your true, like these top 5 guys are like most of them. He's not your true lockdown corner. He's not going to be a number 1 corner for a team. He's like a really good number 2 that's, going to bring physicality to your defense. So did not test the combine. Don't have a 40 on him. My comp is Rasul Douglas, not for the physicality, but for the intelligence. Rasul was a really smart player who understood offenses and route concepts and could make a lot of plays, um, on the ball because of that. And that kind of reminds me of TJ Tampa. And I got him going early, round 2. If, he has a pro day, does really good. I could see him going late round 1 to a team like the Lions, who like that physicality, that need a DB, to the Niners that need a DB, like that physicality, to the Chiefs. I could see it happening. But that's TJ Tampa. Number 5. Now, this is like the big 5, right? This is everyone's 5. It just kind of depends what order you put them in.
Mhm.
Number 5, we got Kool-Aid. All right. From Alabama, 5'11", 199 pounds. Good tackling. I mean, no. Good tracking the ball deep.
Yeah,
Tracking
there
the
you
ball
go.
deep. No, not this guy.
It's like, no, different guy.
That's this guy. He tracks the ball really good deep, kind of like a safety. He plays through the hands good. He's got good timing. He's kind of like a technician in that sense. He understands how to track the ball, how to play through the hands. Can read the receiver, the body language, the eyes, his hips. So that's good. He blitzed a lot in college. They did that a lot. And I was like, why do they do that? I don't think he's the best tackler. And I'll tell you why in one sec. Bad. He doesn't have that speed. He doesn't have that full field speed to cover ground. Recovery speed, this and that. He just doesn't have that. He can get grabby because his footwork can be sloppy sometimes. He can get bored when not getting targeted. And he just doesn't have that motivation or like want in the run game like a guy like TJ Tampa does. So that's kind of why I think they blitzed him. So he doesn't get bored in the run game. so they kind of send him to go, find work and go sack the quarterback or maybe make a play with the running back in the backfield. So just to get him involved, I felt like they, sent him in college a lot. And then one more thing is his zone coverage. I think he's got to improve upon, reaction time and just understanding route concepts. So he did not test at the combine. He had a pro day, and despite having a Jones fracture in his foot, he clocked a 4.47 40-yard dash. So he didn't test in the combine because he was still recovering. So he ran a 4.47 at his pro day, which is not bad at all, coming off a fraction.
Yeah, especially a fractured foot.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I kind of saw him 4.4, 4.45, something like that. I don't know. He's not the fastest on tape, but yeah, my comp is AJ Terrell, and I got him going late first round to, a couple of those teams I just mentioned for TJ Tampa.
Yeah, him and I differ a little bit. I think maybe 4 guys go the first round. Hammer thinks 5, but we'll definitely see, especially when we do our mock draft in a couple weeks. Number 4, a guy that it could be one of the most exciting guys in this class just based off of his speed alone and what he did at the combine. Number 4, you got Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. He's 6'1", 173, so obviously that weight is a little bit jarring. He's lighter than me, and I'm 5 foot. I'm 5'9", and I'm a skinny nobody. Anyways, the good, great footwork and hips, no false steps. You don't really see him take any false steps, which is something that a DB coach will always harp on you for. Very aggressive and confident and press man. Great instincts to play the ball or to play the hands, and always go for the pass breakup. I see him always go for the pass breakup, which is something that you look for in a corner, just to not let the ball come down in the receiver's hands. The bad, I think, really is his size. We saw last year with Emmanuel Forbes. Everyone liked Emmanuel Forbes, and he was a quicker guy. As soon as he got to the league, that size really did hurt him. And that's kind of where Nate Wiggins is at right now. You see it with the run defense and tackling. His size hurts him there, and that's where he needs to kind of bulk up to be able to be a great guy in the NFL. He's over-aggressive and press at times, which leads to people going by him, but he does have that recovery speed to usually recover in time. But in the NFL, that's not really the same. This is college ball. It's a lot different than NFL. At the combine, he had a 4.28 40. So right off the bat, that was the second highest in, I think, the combine in general. So obviously that jumps right off at the bat, and all the NFL scouts are going to see that right off the paper and be excited. He had a 9.44 RS score, and I got him going late day 1, possibly early second, depending on where that cornerback runs.
Really? Early second?
Wherever that cornerback run lies. It's going to be late 1, early second. I think it could be.
I think it's middle to late 1.
I think it's either 25 to 32 or 32 to. I give it to 40. He's not making it past 40. I'll tell you that much for sure.
No, I think he's going last chance. I think he's going night 1. I think there's gonna be a run in the 18 to end of the first, like mid to late.
Yeah. So I'm saying 25 to 32 is where I mainly see him
he's
going.
He's not making it to if there's one guy's making it to the second round, it's Kool-Aid, not Wiggins.
But yeah, I think 4 guys.
Wiggins. So in my opinion too, I think, like, from this list, I think there's a big drop off from 4 to 5. Yeah. I think 4 are like your game changers. I think Wiggins and these, 2 other guys are like lockdown corners. And then I think this one guy is just an awesome athlete, playmaker, Swiss Army knife. You could do a lot with. So I don't think Kool-Aid's there. Like, Tampa's not there. They're not. They're good, but it's a drop off. So Nate Wiggins is a stud. I love his hustle. Watching him on tape, I mean, there were 2 plays where, like, the running back, broke a play off, and I mean, he
chased him down. You see,
he's got like a, I don't know, 10-yard head start, 15-yard head start on Nate Wiggins. He's running down the sideline going into the end zone. Nate Wiggins comes out of nowhere and hits the ball loose out of the end zone.
Clemson
football.
North Carolina, I think.
He did it twice. And it's just like, when it comes up twice, like, when a play like that, happens a couple times, like, that's a sign that, like, just, I don't know. That's
real.
It shows a lot. It shows a lot about character. It shows, it displays his speed. So I like Nate Wiggins a lot. A guy I would love for the Packers to draft, but that weight just doesn't do it for me. Doesn't do it
Yeah,
for
he's
me.
gotta beef up a little bit. He's gotta get on the hammer diet.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Boom.
at number 3, we got Terrion Arnold, a guy that I think is I think he's the most confident player in this draft. He is always confident in what he is doing, what he has to do every single play. And a lot of people said that he had one of the best media days that they've seen in a long time from a draft prospect. So that's something to note as well for Terrion. He's not afraid to get in the mix. He will go in and make some tackles. I think his tackle form may need to improve a little bit, but he's not scared to go in and try to make a tackle, which is what you want to see out of corner. He's very comfortable in zone coverage, and he's willing to make plays from the slot or the outside. So I think that's kind of his fit is a zone. This is more of a zone defense. I love how he seems to glide around on the field. Like he's not the fastest guy. He ran a 4.5 40, which obviously isn't it's not fast, but it's not slow either. But he glides around on the field. It
He
just
plays
seems like
faster.
yeah, he plays flat. He plays faster, and he just glides, man. You don't really see a huge change in speed, but he's always going full speed at all times. I think he's the most solid all around corner in the draft. Like right off the bat, like I just think he can do a little bit of everything.
I think he's the most NFL ready.
Yeah, it's and that's having him at 3 might get us a little bit knocked for that, but I still think there's other guys that have higher potentials than him, and that's why we have him higher. The bad, he doesn't have the best footwork in man. I think he does need to improve his man footwork a little bit, and he just seems less confident in that. But he obviously is still relatively confident. He's the most confident player in this class. Um, I think, like I said earlier, I already mentioned it. His tackling form needs a little bit of work. Combine wise, he ran a 4.5 40. Mentioned that an RAS score of 9.23, which is not going to get him any knocks. That's a solid RAS score all the way through. Comparison for him is going to be Devin Witherspoon. I think they have a similar play style, as well as just when they're on the field, there's like their speed, game speed, how they play the game, just reminds me of Devin Witherspoon. Projection is going to be round 1 pick. I think he's going to be anywhere from 15 to 24.
He's mid. I mean, is he the first guy taken?
Yeah, I definitely think it could be. So these top 3 guys, it's a coin flip because you don't know.
Is he an option for the Saints?
No.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but we have enough corners right now. I just don't see us going there.
Huh. All right, number 2. Now this, right, we got him on the list. Is he a corner? Is he a safety? Who knows? Is he Superman? I don't know. Cooper Dejean, from Iowa, 6 foot, 203 pounds. He's versatile, right? He could play outside corner, boundary corner, safety, nickel. He's a playmaker. He is a playmaker. He makes plays when he's on the field. The ball's in his hands. Something's going to happen. Good punt returner. Had a lot of good returns in college. He's an awesome athlete, and he's going to display that at his pro day tomorrow. Yes, his pro day is tomorrow. Well, today, when you guys are watching this, we don't have his numbers yet. I expect him to run a 4.3, something like that, but he's a great athlete. Didn't participate in the combine, so I'm excited to see his numbers. Zone coverage is where he shines, reads the quarterback really well, good ball skills, and he's a good tackler. He's physical. On the bad, and kind of 2 things, hip tightness. He's got some tightness in his hip. You could see it, a little discomfort. Struggles a little, and due to that, he struggles a little bit in man. That's not where ideally he's the best at. More of a zone guy. And then tracking the ball on deep routes. I think he could do a better job on. I personally think he's a nickel, strong safety. That's just where I would play him. That's where I think. And I know it's like, no, he's a corner, not just because he's, I'm not going to, not just because he's white.
He's white. Guys, he's white. He's a white corner. It hasn't happened since like 2003 and forever.
Legend. Yeah.
But, you saw me out at Muhlenberg. Obviously, I transferred because I wasn't.
Because he's white. Because he's white.
I'm white, guys. I'm not the best corner, but.
No, but like, I just think he can really put his skill set on display at nickel, at safety, where you can blitz him. He's in that curl flat area hook where he can really make plays on the football. I think that's where he shines, like truly.
I think
And
he's a good tackler too.
yeah,
And
making tackles in the open field, like that's just where he's gonna shine. Um, he's going to be a day one pick. I got him mid to late. I'm gonna see what he does at the combine. At the pro day. The reason why I wouldn't put this guy like drafting wise, I think he's probably the third DB taken. I don't put him above the guy we have next, and Arnold is because I think those two guys are shutdown corners, and he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife that is more kind of like a safety nickel, and it's
yeah,
just kind of what do you value more, right? And I think you're going to value the shutdown corner more, of course.
this is what I thought I was gonna be when I was a little kid. This is what I thought
That's
I
what
was
you
gonna live
thought,
up to until
yeah,
I hit 5'9" as my max height. And
yeah. But for
didn't get it.
me, this is the dream pick for the Green Bay Packers. We need help in the secondary. Someone to play alongside Xavier McKinney, another corner to play alongside Jair, help in the nickel. I think he could solve all those problems. You could move him anywhere. He's athletic. He's got the body. I think, maybe Green Bay's got to move up a little bit to go get him. Maybe he falls in the lap in 25, but this is my dream pick, Cooper Dejean. I hope you are a cheesehead by April 25th.
5th at night by midnight.
By
As
midnight,
fans.
hopefully. But that brings us to our number one corner, Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo. 6 foot.
Toledo. Toledo.
Oh shit.
Toledo.
6 foot. Six. Trust me. I scouted him. I knew we went to school. It's late night. All right, 6 foot, 195 pounds. The build. He's got a good build. I don't know if you could see in this picture. He's got broad shoulders. He looks good. I like his build. He's like an ideal
Yeah,
corner in the NFL.
if anyone
Uh,
knows physiques, it's him.
yeah, I know physiques. Change of direction, really good. Hips are really good. His burst to close on routes, like recovery speed is really good. He's a playmaker. This dude had 4 picks in one game, and he returned 2 of them for touchdowns. Good tackler, wraps his legs, fights through hands at the catch point, and he really blew up at the Senior Bowl
Yeah.
and then continued that at the Combine. He was amazing at the Senior Bowl, shut down everyone. By far, he was the best corner, and then he went to the Combine and blew that up, and he tested unbelievably. He ran a 4.33. I think it was the second best time for corners.
Yeah.
The bad. At times, he can declare his hips too soon. His feel for routes and man, I think he's got to clean it up. He gives a lot of cushion. Sometimes guys just get easy receptions on him. And then I think breaking, I think just master your footwork, just get better at breaking. He had a RES score of 9.75. And I think him and Arnold, those are the top 2 DBs taken. We'll see where they end up. I could see him going as high as 11, honestly. I could see him going as high as 11. I could.
11's the Raiders, right?
11 is the Vikings right now.
And then the
That's what I'm
Vikings will probably
saying.
move. The Vikings will probably trade. Yeah.
I could see him
Okay.
going as high as 11, but I kind of have see him going in those teens like Arnold. I think both of them get taken before the 20s. So, another team I've seen like the Colts, the Jaguars, those teams make a lot of sense for me and kind of the right spot to draft him. But big fan of him. But yeah, that's going to do it for corners. Next Tuesday, we're going to be doing our top 10 receivers with Ned Stimson. Big fan of,
The podcast receiver specialist. Yeah.
yeah, all the above. Yeah. But yeah, we're excited to do that. And Jenks, closing thoughts on these guys. How do you think it's going to play out night 1?
Dude, I'm excited for the draft. And I think this is the problem. I mean, last year we didn't have nearly as many good corners, right? Like, it's
That's
tough
2.
Yeah, like I don't really remember having a class of this many corners that were first round talents. So I think it's going to be exciting because it's going to be a lot of flips of coins for these teams. Kind of going, do you go best player available and pick a corner like one of these guys, or do you go for kind of your need, something like that. So I think that's going to be a lot of teams' decisions are going to be pretty tough come draft night when these guys are on the board late in the first round, mid to late in the first round.
Yeah, corner is definitely one of the strengths of this draft. I'd say corner, quarterback, lineman, and receiver, really. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out. I think Green Bay, my team, will definitely be in the market for one of these guys. So maybe you'll be a cheesehead. Maybe if you're lucky enough. We don't just take anyone. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jenks Summer Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jenks Summer Podcast. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment who you agree with, who you disagree with, and who you want your team to draft. But that's going to do it for this episode. It is officially draft month. We're getting close. 4 weeks away. Stay with us. Here we go.
Some of these guys got to get in the lab with Shakira, man, get their hips right.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!